in non exousia.
Satan, Iblis, Samal, the guy from Netflix, and in most depictions, he is portrayed as the ruler of hell, the big daddy of all that is evil and corrupt. Some fear him, others anticipate the moment of encountering him, and a few even worship him. If you belong to the latter group, you might want to exit this video now. It's too late for you. However, for the rest of you, consider this. What if I told you that Lucifer isn't the all-powerful ruler of hell, but rather its first prisoner? So grab your holy books, holy water, and your Xbox chat, which of course will accompany you on the day of judgment, and get ready to dive into the depths of hell. Our journey begins with an angel named Lucifer, one of God's most esteemed creations. Blessed with beauty, wisdom, and power, Lucifer was the perfect example of perfection among angels. But perfection has a price, and Lucifer found himself cursed with the curse of hubris. Lucifer was arrogant, very arrogant, and above his arrogance, he was also jealous of his place as the leader, as the archangel, but he had nothing to worry about. After all, he is the perfect creation, and nothing can dislodge that. Then came a pivotal moment, the creation of humans. God's new masterpieces were flawed, frail, and far from the angelic ideal. This didn't sit well with Lucifer, who saw himself replaced by beings he deemed unworthy and smelly. The story takes a darker turn as Lucifer, driven by envy, becomes a serpent in the Garden of Eden. He tempts humanity with forbidden knowledge, planting the seeds of sin and evil. This act marks the beginning of his rebellion against divine order. God, seeing no other choice, decided to take out the belt and punish Lucifer, like a black mama finding out her son smokes weed. Lucifer, after his ass was red as an apple, gathered around him a bunch of angels, who were mostly haters of humans, and started a bloody rebellion, full of epic wars, twists, betrayals, love stories, tension. We were in love, show you, if we had a budget, their defeat is unavoidable, and they are cast down to hell, transforming Lucifer into Satan, the Prince of Darkness. Interestingly, Lucifer's fall from grace is why he's associated with Venus, the morning star, symbolizing his transition from light to darkness. This tale reminds us that pride and envy can lead to one's downfall. Ever wondered what it's like to fall from heaven? In Lucifer's case, that's precisely what occurred. As he and his compatriots landed in hell, their once radiant beauty faded, giving way to anger and transformation into Satan and his demons. According to prevalent narratives, hell serves as the judgment ground for the wicked in the last days, depicted as a realm aflame with scorching fire or chilling with bone-crushing ice. One's final destination hinges on personal actions, and if you play Diablo 4 and loved it. In hell, Lucifer shed the beautiful mantle of the leader of the angels that covered him, and began his transformation into the form of a demon. Though some sources claim he still occasionally assumes his divine form, creating a kind of ironic twist as the embodiment of evil. In hell, Lucifer got his new name, the Devil. What the devil means can change depending on the culture. For example, in Judaism, the devil might be an angel God sends to do certain jobs, like ending lives or judging people's actions in heaven. In other beliefs, the devil fights against God and tries to win over people's souls using tricks, agreements, or even sites like OnlyFans, depending on who you ask. But before we proceed to the real story of Lucifer, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and press the bell if you want to stay updated for more stories of mystery and ancient history. The common story that Lucifer rules over hell is questioned by a different thought-provoking view. He probably didn't want the extra hours as the manager. This idea suggests that Lucifer isn't the ruler but the first prisoner of hell, a point backed by various religious and literary texts. In certain Christian traditions, emphasizing the redemptive nature of divine justice, Lucifer's fall from grace is viewed not as an ascension to rulership in hell, but as a descent into eternal confinement. Proponents of this viewpoint to scriptural passages that emphasize punishment over dominion. For instance, the Bible's Isaiah 14:15 talks about Lucifer being sent down to the dead's realm, to the depths of the pit, which implies punishment, not power. Also, in the New Testament, like in 2 Peter 2:4, it talks about angels who sinned being thrown into Tartarus, thought of as the deepest part of hell. This suggests that fallen angels, including Lucifer, are meant to be punished rather than to rule. So, basically, Los Angeles. Who knows, maybe the one watching over Lucifer in Tartarus is Hades. Literature adds to this perspective too. Dante's Inferno, for example, shows Lucifer as imprisoned at hell's lowest point, chained up as a sign of his defiance, not reigning as a king. This view challenges the usual story of Lucifer being hell's ruler. By looking closely at religious texts and their interpretations, this different angle presents a fascinating rethinking of Lucifer's destiny in the afterlife. The story of Iblis in Islam, who is punished for his rebellion, fits into this theme of divine justice, as do similar stories in Zoroastrianism and even tales of fallen celestial beings in Hinduism. These varied religious viewpoints add layers to the discussion about Lucifer's real role in the underworld. After all, there exists a recurring narrative throughout various religious writings of mankind, wherein the masterpiece that preceded man finds itself consumed by jealousy and burning hatred, consequently banished from the celestial realm to a lesser plane where it forfeits its heavenly images. Reminiscent of Epstein's Island. So while the devil is playing the fiddle in Georgia or signing dubious contracts with unknown musicians, it seems that in most parts of the world, and also those inside, are afraid of Lucifer, fear him, and do not want to meet him. Any religion that respects itself and wants to satisfy its fans needs a supervillain, the antithesis of divine purity and supremacy. And it seems that Lucifer entered this doorway, even though in the initial writings it seems that Lucifer, as mentioned, is not the devil nor the ruler of hell, but his first prisoner. That is, it is possible that the story of Lucifer evolved from a story that was intended to be used as an example and scare, without changing the mouth of God, to a story about an ultimate evil that is the cause of all evil in the world. In Judaism, Satan is mentioned as an angel who does God's work, usually to the detriment of man, but not as the ruler of hell. The story of Lucifer in Christianity is a little more complex, with several versions that have been changed over the years. In contrast to Judaism, where he usually appears as an angel who disobeyed God, in the New Testament Satan appears as an evil and demon who rebels against God and humanity. In the Middle Ages, the official declarations of the Church defined the very belief in the existence of devil, worshipping humans with powers such as witches as species and apostasy, meaning that Christianity declared war on Lucifer and his believers as an act of apostasy against God, placing Lucifer essentially as an adversary of God. In Islam, the name of Iblis is mentioned about 11 times in the Quran, and yet he is the ultimate apostate. There is also a dispute whether Iblis belongs to the race of angels or not. Some said that he belonged to a species of angels called demons, and were created from fire, while the other angels were created from light. He was said to be one of the guardians of heaven. It is said that before Iblis changed God's mouth, he was an angel named Azazel, who lived in the land and was very knowledgeable, which made him arrogant. When Iblis refused to bow down to Adam, God cursed him and considered him one of the infidels. One or another variation of the devil exists in almost all major religions on earth, from Hinduism to the never-ending pantheon of Greek gods, who, let's face it, with the amount of gods they have, it would be more surprising if they didn't have their own devil. Today, humans love to create content related to the devil, and yes, if you were once burned at the stake for the crime of such works, today you will be offered a contract with Netflix for several $1 million. the devil is mentioned in countless works of art such as songs, television series, comics, folktales, etc., and with countless different variations of names and stories. Each person has their own preference regarding the story of the origin of Satan, until at least a new religion comes out that will devour the cards. And probably the upgrade in Lucifer's status is due to the popularity that his stories gained. Therefore, from being the first prisoner of hell, he received the keys to the cell, and we will be a ruler of hell. The story of Lucifer's transformation from a hero to a villain has profoundly impacted literary works worldwide and significantly influenced people's perceptions of religion. After all, Lucifer's fall from grace, from being the leader of angels to a bedtime story, has left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. However, as we presented, Lucifer isn't the ruler of hell, but its inaugural captive, spending eternity in atonement for his transgression. What do you think? Lucifer is the terrible ruler of hell that awaits the unbelievers on Judgment Day? Or does Lucifer serve as the first inmate of hell, and his status only improved due to the popularity he gained? Or maybe you believe in Lucifer and worship him. Share with us in the comments.